when you look at the crowds today, you have maybe 5,000-6,000 people here. On the streets yesterday, 1 million people, 1 million Iranians in the street for the Ayatollah Khomeini. Does that not give you concern? Does that not make you afraid?
Because they are afraid, yeah, that's right. And most of the people don't say anything because they are afraid. And they are in silence, you know, they don't say anything.
Is this the silent majority of Iran out here now?
Yes, that's right.
Do you want the Shah to return?
Yes, Shah, return to the country.
What about you, Shah? Why do you want the Shah? Why does she want the Shah?
ما شاه میخوایم ما بیچاره این
شادی کشتنش حلاله کجای قرآن گفته
47 years we've been bleeding in the dark, under the shadow of the Islamic regime, with a stone-cold heart. They silenced our voices, they turned off our light. 58 days without internet, but we still fought the night. Our children took the streets, they raised their empty hands, and the world looked away. Do you understand? Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? 42,000 souls are gone, killed in 2 days by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? Do you feel anything at all? Or did something break inside you while Iran answered the call? Do you know Europe? 42,000 lives, 2 days, that's all it took. Mothers and fathers and sons, did you even look? We stand with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, our hope and voice. Millions behind him marching, he is our only choice. He only fights for freedom, democracy and human rights. But you mock him in your chambers while he fights for our lives, to pull us out of this darkness, this century-long night, while you sign deals with our killers and call it diplomatic right. Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? They hang 60, 40 souls one by one, hanged within 4 months by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? Do you feel anything at all? Or did something break inside you while Iran answered the call? Do you know Europe? What happened to you, Europe? What made you so cold? What turned your heart to stone? while our story went untold. Is oil worth more than blood? Is silence worth the shame? Because while you negotiate with murderers, we are dying, calling your name. Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? 42,000 souls are gone, killed in 2 days by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? We are still here. We are still strong. Do you know Europe? How much longer? How much longer? How long? Do you know Europe?
To all of our friends around the world, under the yoke of the Islamic Republic, Iran is identified in your minds with terrorism, extremism, and poverty. The real Iran is a different Iran, a beautiful, peace-loving, and flourishing Iran. It is the Iran that existed before the Islamic Republic, and it is the Iran that will rise again from its ashes the day the Islamic Republic falls. So let me be clear about how a free Iran will act towards its neighbors and the world after the fall of this regime. In security and foreign policy, Iran's nuclear military program will end. Support for terrorist groups will cease immediately. A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, and extremist Islamism. Iran will act as a friend and a stabilizing force in the region, and it will be a responsible partner in global security. In diplomacy, relations with the United States will be normalized, and our friendship with America and her people will be restored. The State of Israel will be recognized immediately. We will pursue the expansion of the Abraham Accords into the Cyrus Accords, bringing together a free Iran, Israel, and the Arab world. A new chapter will begin, grounded in mutual recognition, sovereignty, and national interest. In energy, Iran holds some of the largest oil and gas reserves in the world. A free Iran will become a reliable energy supplier to the free world. Policymaking will be transparent. Iran's actions will be responsible. Prices will be predictable. In transparency and governance, Iran will adopt and enforce international standards. Money laundering will be confronted. Organized corruption will be dismantled. Public institutions will answer to the people. In the economy, Iran is one of the world's last great untapped markets. Our population is educated, modern, with a diaspora that connects it to the four corners of the world. A democratic Iran will open its economy to trade, investment, and innovation, and Iran will seek to invest in the world. Opportunity will replace isolation. This is not an abstract vision. It is a practical one, grounded in national interest, stability, and cooperation. To achieve this, now is the time to stand with the Iranian people. The fall of the Islamic Republic and the establishment of a secular, democratic government in Iran will not only restore dignity to my people, it will benefit the region and the world. A free Iran will be a force for peace, for prosperity, and for partnership.
وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه روبروم یه واژه یه هدف به نام انتقامه پشت سرم دعای مادر و تو دستم تفنگ بابامه رو زبونم اسم شاه بگینین عشق بی انتهاست هر جا اسم ایران اومد اونجا صدای بچه رضاست فردا می نویسن تو کتاب قصه دیمار بگو با تیر جنگی کشتن بچه های بیگناه رو بگو از بخت مادرها شیر زنا و دخترامون بگو تنها شهید شدیم تا تنها نمونه شامون وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست
همه خسته ایم قبولم، ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست. روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما، سرم بالاست و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه.
سلام من به تو یار قدیمی، منم همون هوادار قدیم.
سید سلام چطوری مردک، کلی کتلت شدین دایی بدون مدرک. سلام بسیجی قهرمان رفتی پیش توسی با پنیر و یه نون سنگک. سلام به محفل قرآنیتون، سلام به مدیرای بحرانیتون، سلام به حاجی اکبر و طوله هاش و خارج و رفقای ارگانیتون، سلام به دزدای پول ملت که تش میفتین توی تور ملت. سلام به همه شما کرکسایی که دارین نونتون رو میزنین تو خون ملت، تا که تش زیر دست و پاک و تک بخورین حالا هی به یه بادکنک بدوین. سلام آخر تو زندان باشه وقتی قرار به این آب خنک بخورین. مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا، ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا. مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا، ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا. اینو بگذاریم به خاک میرسیم، تجزیه طلبی که به خاک بیرسیم. ایران مردمش وطن پرستن، از کرد تا بلوچ بری به فاک بیرسی. توف به هر کی مرسی است، توف به هر کی در پی تجزیه است، توف به لوی و همونی که شیفته ی گل ملیگرا تو وطن خدا نسلی هست. سر کردستان همه برپا شدن، بلوچستان فدای مهسا شدن. شمع واحد که شیر و خورشید، ما بقی جعلیا تنها شدن. شادی باشه واسه همه در میهن، کور بشه چه شهرچی اهریمن. رخه رو بگید اون 6 کلاس سواد و خبرگان و مجد سری ترجیحن. شبهای عروس و دامادی باشه، برن سلامتی نوش کنن و آبادی باشه. مقصد کجاست؟ میدون شهیاده به سمت اتوبان آزادی باشه. سلام به نسل ندید پدیدا، نبودیم ندیدیم قدیمتی ما. شاه بود تو شادی کل میزدین، حالا شاه بر میگرده پیک میزنین. مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا، ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا. مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا، ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا. مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا، ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا.
آهنگ به این خوشگلی با نوایده بود، اسم این عشقانه رو توش بیاریم، ولی خب لازم بود دیگه فکر کنم. با نوایده
talking of peace, but you know how it ends. Smiles for the cameras, deals in the light, but truth disappears somewhere out of sight. Mullahs behind it, controlling the flow. You shake hands with fire, but you already know. Iranians want freedom, they're reaching high. From cells to the shadows, their voices still grow, dreaming of a future they don't even know. Deals at the top while the pressure runs low, and down below the fear continues to grow. Deal with the devil, you know what it costs. Promises fade while the lines get crossed. Deal with the devil, you hear their call, voices in chains One stands firm, one bends to the game. History writes down the choice and the name. Stand with strength, don't let it all go. You don't free millions by moving too slow. Mr. Trump, if you give them that deal, they keep the power, they tighten the seal. More voices silenced, more lives erased, while freedom is pushed further away. Be the Reagan they need, take a stand, don't trade their future for a sake of a hand. Deal with the devil, you know what it costs. Too many lives already lost. Deal with the devil, you hear that call. Iranians fighting, they won't let it fall. Deal with the devil, don't look away, while lives are taken day by day. Mr. Trump, be like Reagan, no deals with the devil.
Let's go. میخوام بگم از دلم، از عشق به این میهنم، به امید روز شکست دشمن شاه برمیگرده به وطن. برگشتن پهلوی، وحشت هر اجنبی، بلند بگو همشهری، شاه رضا پهلوی. نظام رسیده پرتگاه، بلند بگو جاوید شاه. برگشت شاه به میهن، دوای درد وطن. این آخرین نبرده، پهلوی برمیگرده. داره میاد پهلوی، زجه بزن سید علی، راه نجات وطن. پهلوی هموطن، ایران میشه گلستان. شاه که بیاد به ایران، ایران که شاه نداره، حساب کتاب نداره. آخون باید گم بشه، توپ تانک فشفشه. گم شو بیرون اجنبی، داره میاد پهلوی. فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن ها. ما شاه میخوایم نه ملا، بذار بشنوه دنیا. ایرانی داد بزن، شاه تو فریاد بزن. برگشتن پهلوی، وحشت هر اجنبی، بلند بگو هموطن. شاه رضا پهلوی، فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. بلند بگو جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. بلند بگو جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه.
Look at us here today. We see so many flags representing so many nations. We know we are not alone, and we thank you for being with us. For all people around the world who stand today in unity with the Iranian people, this is not just because it's good for us, and you do it out of compassion and care for our rights to liberty and justice and equality and human rights. But understand that it is in your best interest too, to have, unlike this regime that has been propagating terror and radicalism, we the people of Iran are peacemakers and not warmongers. We like to be friends especially with the free world. We'd like to be able to have the best neighborly relationship with the people of our area and the region, with the Arab countries, with Israel, and all our other neighbors. We are fighting for justice, we're fighting for human rights, we are fighting for liberty, we're fighting to put an end to all sorts of discrimination. Because as an Iranian, I stand here to tell you that I've dedicated 47 years of my life because I think that my country deserves far better than what we have right now. To now understand that their best remedy is to support the people of Iran, because ultimately a free Iran will be your best partner, not just to bring stability and peace, but it will be in your best economic interest and opportunities. Together we can prosper again, and the world will be so different once the Iranian people are free. I am here to guarantee a transition to secular democratic future. I am committed to be that leader of transition for you, so we can one day have the final opportunity to decide the fate of our country through a democratic, transparent process, through the ballot box and free elections. And let's make sure that this time, especially the free nations of this world and their governments, stand on the right side of history.
Well, Durud, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to day 146 of Iran Revolution Live with your wonderful and amazing host, Mr. Armin Navabi.
And your wonderful and amazing host, Goldie Ghamari.
Thank you, Armin. Armin, how are you doing today?
Good, good. Just wondering if these new reports regarding the regime wanting to do a surprise attack before the Americans is based on good evidence or not. So I don't know about that. We could talk about it. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm doing as well as I can. Given the circumstances, feeling hopeful, but also, we know that the situation in occupied Iran is a bad situation. It's bad, and it's only getting worse. There's something that President Trump posted yesterday on his Truth Social, and it's very
really?
interesting.
I missed that.
Yeah. So you know how I've always said that when politicians post links to articles online with no context or commentary, usually they're doing it because they want to share that information with people.
Yes, you have been saying that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look at this. President Trump yesterday posted a link to a New York Post opinion piece that's
You want to bring it up?
titled. Oh, sorry. I thought I was sharing my screen. My apologies. There we go.
Yeah, no worries.
So yesterday, President Trump posted a link to a New York Post article. It's an opinion article, and it's called "Here's How to Crush Tehran in 3 Moves."
Ooh.
So let me just read this for you. So here's how to crush Tehran in 3 moves. Let me get rid of the...
Holy mother of ads.
I know. Oh my gosh. It's like full of ads. All right. So a small group of the Islamist regime loyalists now ruling Iran by committee may be able to fool the world with AI-generated propaganda videos, paper statements attributed to an invisible Ayatollah, and ChatGPT scripted posts on X. But they can't escape the reality of an American naval blockade pushing their economy off the cliff. President Trump has the upper hand. His best path forward is to pursue 3 lines of effort in parallel: sustain the blockade and accompanying economic warfare to destabilize the regime's hold on the state, remake the world in America's energy dominance image to mitigate long-term price impacts while undermining China's global ambition to defeat the United States, and order the US military to forge a path through the Strait of Hormuz to restore freedom of navigation on our terms, not Tehran's. You might call the latter Operation Epic Passage, a combined naval and air mission of self-defense that offers escort to tankers and restores freedom of navigation, all while making clear to Tehran the devastating consequences of breaking the ceasefire. You might also call it Blockade Plus. Whether Iran's oil storage completely runs out in a day or a month, Iran is no longer exporting oil, the lifeblood of its economy, or petrochemicals, steel, or any other product at a level needed to keep the government afloat, banks capitalized, and employees paid. The currency is in free fall. Domestic prices are skyrocketing. Reserves are being drained, and escape hatches, sanctions, evasion routes the regime typically relies upon are getting closed soon after they open. A gasoline shortage comes next. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's Operation Economic Fury is more than just a naval blockade. Every department and agency in the US government has been directed to prioritize economic warfare against the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The intelligence community is now laser focused on this objective in a way it hasn't been in some years. Every bank account and crypto wallet where the regime has cash is being frozen. Sanctions evasions trails are being tracked down, with calls being made to the highest levels of foreign governments, warning of dire enforcement actions to come without immediate action, from Baghdad to Islamabad to Beijing. There is zero doubt that There is zero doubt that the trajectory for the regime in Tehran is state collapse. Armin, President Trump posted this article, which means President Trump is agreeing with what the author is saying here, including the sentence, "There is zero doubt that the trajectory for the regime in Tehran is state collapse." But by imposing a continued showdown of the internet and controlling the flow of information, the IRGC rulers use cognitive warfare to alter our perception of that reality and to make it incredibly challenging to understand how much time they have left. And even knowing that Operation Epic Fury just set back Iran's nuclear, missile, and drone threats to the United States for a generation, Americans understandably want prices lower. And that means Trump cannot allow a terror-sponsoring, pirate-like remnant regime to hold the global economy hostage, making Epic Passage a necessary step. On the domestic energy front, every feasible way to expedite refinery expansion and modernization in the US should be fast-tracked. Internationally, every new oil project an American company has ever wanted to pursue should get the full backing of the administration. In the Gulf, they mean the Persian Gulf, the US should partner with Saudi Arabia and the UAE to form a new overland pipeline consortium, Trans-Aram, to undercut Tehran's long-term threat to the Strait of Hormuz by sending oil, gas, and petrochemicals overland in multiple directions, including through Israel to Europe. In the end, if American and hopefully allied naval and air forces can clear and defend a narrow path for even a limited tanker flow to emerge from the Persian Gulf while still sustaining Operation Economic Fury, it'll be a checkmate for the paper Ayatollah. Oil prices will fall, and the regime strangulation will either deliver the remaining nuclear concessions Trump seeks or accelerate its collapse.
That's perfect because it demonstrates the intention is regime collapse, state collapse. I think on top of that, if you add arming the Iranian people, it would be complete. Like if you take all of that and you also, because the whole point of that is to weaken the regime to the point where the Iranian people could do an uprising, to bankrupt them to the point that they could do an uprising. So that's one side of it, weakening. So as Prince Reza Pahlavi always says, maximum pressure for the regime, but also on the other side, maximum support for the Iranian people. So I think this is one side of it, a really good explanation of how we could have maximum pressure on the Islamic Republic. If we add to that maximum support for the Iranian people, which in my opinion comes in the form of arming the Iranian people, then we will have a complete picture of how we could get to regime change. What do you think?
Listen, I 100% agree with that. I think there's different elements and layers here. But you know, this article is, I guess, focusing more on sort of the economic aspect of it. But yeah, like this is, I mean, the article itself is really interesting. It's actually posted by someone named Richard Goldberg, who's a senior advisor at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. And as we know, Saeed Qaseminejad is also, you know, one of the senior people at the FDD, and he's also the top policy and political advisor of His Royal Highness King Reza Pahlavi. So, you know, it's all sort of connected here.
And on top of that, we know that FDD as an organization is pro-Pahlavi. So the entire FDD, so we know that as well, So that's great.
So yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to start off with there. Just I thought that was very interesting. And again, the fact that, you know, President Trump posted that article, right? It sends a signal. And I think it's very interesting, the messaging in there. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to share with you right off the bat in terms of news.
That was really interesting. Thank you, Goldie. That was really helpful.
Thank you. All right, let's go to your updates.
So let's go to another article then from Jerusalem Post. This is interesting because it might suggest that the regime thinks that an attack is imminent by the United States. So they might want to not wait anymore like they did last time. I don't know how true this is. Jerusalem Post is usually good, not always, right? But let's consider it. But this, on average, is better. Jerusalem Post is good. So Iran could launch surprise attack against Persian Gulf states. Again, the Persian is missing here. Persian Gulf states, Israel, says officials. Warnings of a potential surprise Iranian attack on Persian Gulf states and Israel come as U.S. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu disagree on how to proceed with Tehran. It says Iran could potentially be planning a surprise attack involving missiles and unmanned aerial vehicles against Persian Gulf states and Israel. Intelligence officials warned on Thursday. The possibility of a preemptive Iranian attack was raised following a situational assessment with top military leaders and Defense Minister Israel Katz. So, guys, this is interesting because even if the Americans plan on, you know, maybe delaying the attack and continuing the ceasefire for a while, the regime might actually force their hand if the intelligence gets. If we get more and more intelligence, if the American gets intelligence that the regime is going to do the preemptive attack, the Americans obviously prefer them doing it before the regime, unless they will allow the regime to do a preemptive strikes, just so that at home they have more political buy-in, at least like to the American voter. Maybe if the Americans just wait for the regime to attack first, it would be more sellable to an American audience for why they had to go back to war. So maybe actually the Americans are going to allow the regime to do this preemptive attack so that you pay less of a political cost for it. And then if they do that also, in Congress and Senate, then there wouldn't be any way to stop President Trump, because if they attack, then President Trump has the responsibility to respond to that, right? You don't need any Congress approval or anything like that for you to respond to an attack on America, right? So it continues by saying the warnings. So somebody's asking, why would they allow it? I just say if they allow the regime to attack first, then internally, in the internal politics within the United States, you basically tie the hands of the Democrats to politically try to stop President Trump, right? So it continues saying the warnings come as the U.S. and Iran continue ceasefire negotiations with U.S. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Reportedly, again, this report is by Axios, so I don't buy it. Like, we don't have to take that seriously. A lot of people are quoting Axios for the disagreeing about how to move forward with Iran. Again, guys, remember that's exactly what we heard before Operation Epic Fury, right? And then later it came out that that was not the case. So security officials noted that Tehran might attempt to act before the US and Israel decide that the diplomatic path is no longer viable and launch a surprise attack similar to one that the start of Operation Epic Fury and similar to that at the start of Operation Epic Fury and Operation Roaring Lion. The Air Force and IDF's operations directorate, under the direction of I know, Major General. Okay, now I remember what this stands for. Major General Hidai Zimmerman and other senior officials conducted a series of discussions with American counterparts to improve readiness, including the transfer of intelligence on unusual Iranian activity. Additionally, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir conducted security briefings with military commanders as part of an overall situational assessment. So the rest of it is basically goes over the detail on how to getting ready. I just wanted everybody to see that we have intelligence that shows that maybe the regime is trying to do a preemptive strikes. We also have this image. Let me see. Copy image address. So a lot of people are pointing this out, saying that this shows an attack is incoming. Again, this increases the possibility, guys. It doesn't guarantee it, but it does increase the possibility. I mean, whenever this happens, it shows that there's some information being shared about an attack coming. So this is, I don't want to dismiss it as not important, but just be careful that don't think this is, air traffic. Avoiding Iranian airspace is usually an indicator that an attack might be happening anytime, but sometimes it's a false alarm. So these are the skies around Iran. They remain packed, but the country itself is basically completely empty. We don't even have the Leroy Jenkins plane. There's one plane that usually goes in the middle, but we don't even have that right now. So it's interesting, right? Also, this is weird. Again, it's the New York Times, so take it with a grain of salt. But New York Times is reporting that the regime in Iran and Oman are in talks over a payment system for ships crossing the Strait of Hormuz, despite warning from the Trump administration. This is bizarre that Oman is agreeing to this, knowing that if it's true, knowing how much President Trump is against that, it's hard to believe that, if it is true, it shows that you can never trust Oman, right? By the way, guys, we see the super chats, but we will read them in 15 minutes, okay? So we will read them on the hour, and thank you guys for all the support. We will get to them. So let's go to the most recent updates and analysis on what's happening and see what we agree with, what we don't agree with. And you guys also mention, as we go through this and as Goldie and I give our opinions on it, you guys also in the chat mention, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat as well to see what your takes are on the most recent updates, okay? So here, let's go to the beginning.
Let's bring in retired 4-star General Joseph Votel, former CENTCOM commander, now Middle East Institute distinguished senior fellow. General, it's great to have you on the show. I want to put the headlines up on the screen. These are from 3 outlets, not exactly, fan favorites of the president and vice versa. The New York Times, U.S. intel shows Iran retains substantial missile capabilities. The Washington Post, U.S. intel says Iran can outlast Trump's Hormuz blockade for months. And then NBC writes, Iran is accelerating efforts to dig out missiles and munitions.
Okay, so let's actually respond to all of these titles, trying to make that seem like President Trump has failed. Okay, so the intelligence shows Iran retains substantial missile capabilities. The reason why they're saying that, the first one, is because a lot of the missile cities, 30 out of the 33 of them, are now operational again, because during the Operation Epic Fury, it was really easy to close down the entrances to these missile cities. And now they reopened those missile cities, and they're saying, okay, they basically retain their missile capabilities. What they don't tell you is that it's easy to reclose them. Right before the next missile, right before the next military operation, it doesn't take like really heavy bunker busters with a lot of explosive power to just quickly go and go boop, 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 and close the entrance. I mean, guys, what is the point of a missile city if every time Americans and Israelis want to go to head-to-head confrontational war with you, they could just close the entrances? They don't even need to. I know that it's really difficult to destroy the missile cities themselves, because they're under layers and layers of granite that has been naturally been made by nature over millions of years, and it's really hard to get to that. Okay, so you're like, oh my God, look at this, we can't destroy the missile cities. But what's the point of having them if every time you could just go shut down the entrances to them so they can't get their launchers out, right? So that's the point. That's the part that they don't tell you. The second one says, intelligence says Iran can outlast Trump's Hormuz blockade for months. So let me read the second title in a different way for you guys. In only a few months, the regime is not going to be able to outlast Trump's Hormuz blockade. Okay, I basically read the same title to you, but from the other side, like from a different perspective. So basically, I could write that. You can see how biased these titles are. I could have just said instead, in only a few months, Iran will not be able to. How about this? It only takes a few months for the regime to outlast Trump's Hormuz blockade. That's how I could have titled that, and it would mean the exact same thing, but it will make it look so much better for our side. I mean, this is very anti-American. Like, are these people whose side are you on? Okay, because a few months is nothing for an entire regime to go bankrupt and collapse. A few months is nothing. And then look at this one. Iran is accelerating efforts to dig out missiles and munitions. I mean, that's the same as the first one, and we already responded to that. Right?
Are you concerned about the possible modicum of truth in there about them with the drones and the ballistic missiles kind of resurgence?
Thanks, Trace. It's good to be with you. Yeah, I think I am concerned. I think everybody should be concerned about Iran and what their intentions are with this. And well, I think it's very clear that that United States Central Command did a.
I mean, when shouldn't you be concerned about the terroristic death cult regime that is trying to take over the world?
Significant damage to Iran's military capabilities. There are likely some residual capabilities that weren't struck, that were stockpiled in other places, and those are being used now, I think, to reconstitute some of their capability.
I wonder if you think that maybe the next step should be kind of going back with some kinetic activity going, or should it just kind of we prolong this diplomacy stage?
Thanks. Well, I think the way I kind of look at this, I think what we have to be able to do is we have to be able to pull all of our levers of national power, and that includes using military power and then using our diplomatic power and economic power. I think it's all got to be skillfully used together so that we can create the greatest impact. And of course, as we're seeing these delays in trying to move towards negotiations or at least get to a platform where we're going to have some meaningful discussions. I think can be very, very frustrating. So those may be opportunities where we can apply some military pressure to kind of urge the process along again. So
okay, so this guy is pro more military pressure, so that's good. No, that's I thought he's going to go the other way, but no.
I guess I view this as
Oh my God! Look at the S&P guys at the bottom right. What the hell? That's like this is like record highs now. Wow.
Yeah, I think President Trump posted about it on Truth Social and said it's like a record breaker or like a deal or like it's like a market record.
Wow. Like the oil prices have like the market's like oil prices are high. The market's like, I don't care. We're doing fine. We're good. Wow. Yes, S&P.
As levers, they're fully within our capabilities, and they can help us move us towards our objectives.
Yeah. Oh, let's actually here. Look at this. Wow, beautiful. Oh my God. Like, yeah, oil prices. What oil prices? It's record highs. It is record highs. Amazing. Nice. I don't know why the media doesn't cover the fact that the market is doing so good under President Trump.
You talk about the process and who is helping and not helping in the process. Today, before he left for Sweden, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was talking about NATO and the lack of help from NATO. He said this.
He's not asking them to commit troops. He's not asking them to send their fighter jets in, but they refuse to do anything. So I think the president looks at that and says, hold on a second. If all these countries around the world agree with us that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, that this regime is a threat to world peace and security, that already have missiles that can reach Europe. They don't have missiles that can reach America yet, but they have missiles that can reach Europe. We're actually step forward and do something about it, and everyone goes into hiding.
Yeah, and on top of that, their economy is not doing good because of the oil prices, and U.S. economy is doing fine. So they're also, not only their ballistic missiles can reach Europe, and they're a threat to Europe. I mean, we just saw IRGC more directly just yesterday coming out and more directly saying that the next time we go to war, we're going to take the war beyond the region, meaning Europe. And they acknowledge that the IRGC is a threat to Europe, and also the economic cost is much higher to Europe and not at all, apparently not at all to the United States. So yeah, why are you guys just sitting back and just watching United States and Israel do the work?
Are you surprised, General, by NATO's lack of enthusiasm about joining this mission?
And by the way, guys, when we say NATO, we're talking about NATO member countries, okay? Because NATO, we don't expect NATO to get involved because NATO includes Turkey. And for NATO as a whole to get involved, you need like a unanimous agreement. Like you need every single to vote on it and say like, yes, okay? So given that Turkey is part of NATO, and worse than that, we have Spain part of NATO. We know for a fact that you're never going to get that unanimous vote, right? So, but when we say NATO, individual NATO member countries, we're talking about them getting involved. That's what we mean.
Well, NATO is designed for a very specific purpose and is largely a defensive alliance. So I'm not necessarily.
So this is why I said that before. He's like, oh, NATO is for this and that. Okay, we don't mean NATO as a whole. We just mean why do NATO member countries are not getting involved?
Designed for a very specific purpose and is largely a defensive alliance. So I'm not necessarily surprised that there was some reserve in terms of going towards this. But I think importantly, I think maybe to the Secretary's point here, I think there's been a recognition by at least certainly some of the European countries that are members of NATO that
see, this expert was thinking exactly what I was thinking. So you're like, okay, European countries that are part of NATO, not NATO itself. Okay.
by at least certainly some of the European countries that are members of NATO that the challenge that we're facing right now in the Gulf is a global.
It's the Persian Gulf. It's not the Gulf. It's not the Gulf. We have many gulfs. How do you pluralize Gulf? It's hard to put an S at the end of Gulf. We have many Gulfs around the world, and they have name. So if you don't mention the name, I don't know which specific Gulf you're talking about. Each one of them has a name. This one is called the Persian Gulf.
You know that the challenge that we're facing right now in the Gulf.
Guys, how do you what's the plural for Gulf? Gulfs? I don't know what.
Countries that are members of NATO that the challenge that we're facing right now in the Gulf is a global challenge, and so it does require a global response to this. And so yes, we need to leverage international relationships. We need to leverage international capabilities to begin to address this.
Wait, Texas in the chat saying, Armin, Americans have been calling it the Gulf since the 90s. Okay, and we're gonna stop that. Okay, okay. So the Americans in our community, they call it the Persian Gulf, and we're gonna spread the news, right? That it's not the Gulf. It's not the Gulf. It's the Persian Gulf.
In everybody's interest, not just the United States, not just Israel, not just people in the region. It's in everybody's interest to ensure that Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. It can't threaten commerce, and it can't be a problem for all of its neighbors. So everyone needs to kind of come together for this.
General Joseph Votel, sir, thank you for joining.
You know how you could make everybody come together on this? Make them suffer for it because of it. Like, just let them, people are like complaining. They're like, oh my God, we are suffering. And the US is like not suffering. And like, okay, either contribute or shut up. Right. So every single country that is complaining and is not contributing should shut up or contribute. Right? Do you guys agree? All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah, what is this one?
We're negotiating, and we'll see. But either we're going to get it one way or the other. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. We're going to either make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon, or we're going to have to do something very drastic. And the people of the country, I believe, when it's put to the people of our country, they will all agree that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
So that's the statement from yesterday. The White House, President Trump laying out the state of play with Iran. Negotiations said to be heating up. The president saying he's looking to strike a deal, but keeping options open for military action. Jackie Heinrich has the update live from the North Lawn. Nice to see you, Jackie, at the White House. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. A member of Iran's parliament reportedly told state media this morning that Tehran could act first to break the ceasefire.
See, I told you guys. I told you that there's talks within Iran, within the parliament, within other places, within IGC, that maybe it was also on state TV.
You know what this is? You know what this is, Armin? This is like their typical, like, chimishe. It's like cherto pert mizana. You need Gondaguzi or whatever, like Gondaguzi. I don't know how to say that. Like, guys, so what's happening here, I guarantee you, what's happening is that because all eyes are on occupied Iran and the Islamic regime right now, everyone is paying attention to Durka News Network. And as you know, those of you who have been following along Iran Revolution Live, we've played a lot of Durka News Network, and Armin's translated it. And they always make the most insane comments. Like, they make the most insane statements, right? Like, oh, we're going to attack. America is ruined, this and that, like whatever, right? So what's really interesting is I have a feeling that this is just like some random idiot who just, wanted to appear tough and, do the whole like death to America, la, 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 whatever. And he said, yeah, maybe we'll attack first, right? To kind of like, did she any yeah, like he basically wants to appear as if like he's strong or whatever, right? So he puts out this statement, and now everyone is like taking it as a fact or news or whatever. So I think it's absolutely hilarious. I'm glad it's getting attention like this because the rest of the world needs to see how absolutely insane the Islamic regime is. And if anything, this news is helpful in the sense that it just shows that the Islamic regime is not something that you can negotiate with. Like, they're not rational, logical, sane actors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're so on point with that. That's how they think. And but what it does also, it gives the Americans the opportunity to use what they're saying, because they have to satisfy their own internal base of support.
Yeah.
But so they're forced to say that, and what we could do is use that as a way to convince more Americans that you need to respond to this. So this will plays in our favor, that they have to do that, right?
Yeah,
Because they're
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I'm very glad this is on Fox News. I hope other media outlets pick it up, because like, this definitely plays in our favor. And it just shows how insane these people are.
Exactly. Okay. Let's continue.
State media this morning that Tehran could act first to break the.
Wait, before we go to this, let me actually, this is a very important news that we need to cover. So Pakistan's army chief arrives in Tehran. So that's a very important update. Pakistan's army chief, Field Marshal Asim Munir, so has arrived in Tehran, where he was welcomed by Iran's Interior Minister, Momini, upon arrival. Iskandari Momini. So this is big. This is one big news. Another one that goes along. So we had the member of parliament saying this. We had IRGC threatening that we already talked about. But we also have this guy. Okay. This cleric also saying, this is like, what moment? Yeah. Look at this. Oh my God, guys, I'm not used to seeing mullahs with army uniform, and I don't know what he's holding. Is that a manpad? So let's actually see what he's saying. Yeah. So cleric threatens attack on Tel Aviv and Persian Gulf capitals. Ahvaz Friday prayer leader. So guys, remember Ahvaz the Friday prayer leaders are representatives of the Beit Rahbari, which is the office of the supreme leadership, right? So they basically, it's a way for the supreme leader, the office of the supreme leader, to have local representations. So that's what every Friday prayer leader imam is, right? So Ahvaz, Friday prayer leader, says Iran would flatten Tel Aviv and regional capitals, including Riyadh. Wait, Goldie, they would flatten Tel Aviv? I thought they already flattened Tel Aviv. How could you flatten something that has already been flattened? Didn't you say in your propaganda? Yeah.
It's the same logic they use with the USS Abraham Lincoln, how they claimed that they've sunk the Abraham Lincoln like 19, 20 times, and it keeps on like spawning. So it's like that.
Yeah, this actually makes both Tel Aviv and the USS Abraham Lincoln very impressive. You're telling me that USS Abraham Lincoln is a ship that can, once it's sunk, it could resurface and be functional again, and you have to sink it again? And you're telling me the Israelis are so efficient at city building that it takes only a month for them to rebuild their city after you completely flatten them, and then you have to flatten them again? Yeah, you're making the Americans and Israeli look more impressive than they actually than they even are. Okay. Right? Okay, so or if you haven't flattened them before, then why not? If you think that you can, what else do they have to do? Guys, let me tell you, a pro-regime Iranian, many times when they hear this, they get really angry. You think they will be happy when somebody threatens Tel Aviv to get flat, but let me see if you guys understand. Why would a pro-regime Iranian look at this and get angry? You would think that a Durka jihadi-minded person sees an imam like this saying, like, we will flatten Tel Aviv and enjoy that. But like, yes, we would flatten Tel Aviv. Why would this anger? And I know this angers them because I've seen this anger them. The reason why this angers them is because their response would be like, why haven't you already? They killed our supreme leader. They killed our Lord. And you're saying if this happened, we will flatten Tel Aviv. If you can't flatten Tel Aviv, you should have already done it by now. This is why this angers a pro-regime Iranian, right? Saying, so let's go from the beginning. Saying Ahbaz, Friday's prayer leader, says Iran would flatten Tel Aviv and regional capitals, including Riyadh, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait City, and what is this? Manama? Where is that? Oh, that's Bahrain. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay. If its enemies made what he called what, this is not complete. This is miswritten. But anyways, Mohammad Nabi Mousavi Fard said Tehran would deliver a forceful response against the United States to establish full deterrence and rejected calls for compromise with Washington. Oh, it's Al-Maname. Okay. That's, now I get it. All right, now let's go to this guy, Hamid Rasai. You guys know Hamid Rasai, guys. Everybody here knows Hamid Rasai. He's important enough to be on the Boom Boom bingo sheet. Here, let me actually bring the Boom Boom bingo sheet. This guy, like, look at this. From the parliament, the only two people highlighted from the parliament, from the legislative branch, you could see the rest of them are hiding under this plus 289 number, right? But the two most important, the only two people highlighted are Ghalibaf and Hamid Rasai, right? So coming to Hamid Rasai, we have an update from him. I don't know if it's worth me playing the video. We could just read the caption. We don't need to listen to him. So say a member of Iran's parliament, Hamid Rasai, said on Thursday during a public gathering that the closure of parliament was unlawful and had not been approved by the Supreme National Security Council. So I don't know if you know this, guys, but right now in Iran, there's a lot of political drama over the fact that the parliament is closed and they're not reopening it. And I think I know why they're not opening it. And the clue for why they're not opening it comes from the fact that the people who are complaining about it are from the Paidari camp, are from the like Durka Jihadi, the most radical people, right? I think, and Iranians in the chat, let me know if you agree with this or not. I think the reason why the parliament is closed is because they don't want videos coming out of the parliament criticizing the regime for not being strong enough against Israel and United States and being pathetic when it comes to the revenge for Ali Khamenei's death. So if you guys don't know, the parliament is a place for members of the parliament to compete with each other, virtue signaling regarding who's the most durka. Okay? They try to outdo each other in the parliament, at the floor of parliament. Like, I'm more pro like Khamenei. No, I'm more pro Khamenei. I'm the more aggressive one against the Israelis American. No, I'm the ones. So if they open the parliament, this guy especially, this guy and also Sabati, you guys remember Sabati, they're going to go out and they're going to be like, oh, why do you guys did this? Why did you guys not deliver a stronger blow to the Americans? Why are you weak over here, weak over there? These are the demands of the people. And by the people, they mean the pro-regime people. And the IRG says, like, screw that. These people, these Paidari camp people are going to try to use the voices of the pro-regime Iranian people to come to parliament and then basically act more virtuous than the IRGC, more virtuous than everybody else, all the other officials, and basically gain the support. Is a place, the parliament, the videos that come out of the parliament is a marketing tactic by politicians to gain the favor of pro-regime Iranians. And right now, the IRGC doesn't want the pro-regime Iranians to limit their flexibility even beyond to where it is right now. And that's why I think that that's the reason why the parliament is not open. And this guy is hating it, saying it's illegal. Why the parliament is not open? By the way, this is a complaint.
You know what's really messed up about this? Like, these
Yeah.
people already know that the Islamic regime is a totalitarian dictatorship and the parliament is fake, right? Like, it's basically this fake institution that doesn't actually do anything, because ultimately it's a totalitarian regime. So like
Right.
these people, they're not even important enough to make it onto the Durka boom boom bingo sheet, right? Like, they're not even important enough to have their faces and names there. And now he's complaining about the parliament not being open as if the country is like some sort of democracy, right? Like, he knows full well it's a dictatorship. But I have a feeling, Armin, that these are now like the maybe the 6th or 7th level leadership people, like all the garbage unknowns, who are maybe now starting to maybe like vie for power or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like that's basically what they're doing. And I mean, again, the country is a dictatorship, so the parliament is completely ineffective anyway. It's just for show.
Yes, exactly, it's for show. But the parliament is not a place where you actually direct policy, because that has been chosen by the higher ups. It's only a place where you could try to use the fact that pro-regime people want certain thing to come and just be outraged. So it's not a serious place for passing laws or anything like that, because like Goldie mentioned, policies are being chosen in the Beit Rahbari, by IRGC, by the by the Supreme National Security Council. Those are the places where the actual policies are decided. The place where you have fake election and you choose members of parliament, these people don't choose policies. The only thing they can do is, because the regime has given them a platform to come and speak, to pretend that they're a democracy, they are basically taking advantage of that opportunity to use that platform to virtue signal to pro-regime people to look at me, I'm fighting for you, right? And gain the soft power. So in the four, like if you remember, we divided the Islamic Republic into 4 segments. Beit Rahbari, the Office of Supreme Leadership, being one of them, the IRGC being another one of them, the negotiating facing faction being another one, with Ghalibaf being in there, Ghalibaf and Pezeshkian being in there. The 4th one is the ideological pressure camp, or the Paidari camp, or the people who these are the people who don't have economic power and they don't have military power, and the only way for them to become more influential is to weaponize the pro-regime Iranians and their radical demands. And that's the soft power that they have, which is much less than the economic power and the people power that the Beit Rahbari has, and the military power and the economic power that the IRGC has. And yes, they are very irrelevant compared to the main powers. The number 1 main power is the IRGC. The second main power is the Beit Rahbari, or the Office of the Supreme Leadership. So let's go back to this report now. School of Durka and Durkery. Yes. All right, let's watch this.
Ceasefire if it believed the U.S. was preparing to attack. President Trump is not giving away any clues about his next
I'll be back in 30 seconds while we watch this
move, after saying earlier this week he was willing to wait a couple of days for Iran's response, and also that he was right on the borderline of potentially resuming military action. Despite some signs of progress, there are significant disagreements over the Strait of Hormuz and Iran's uranium stockpile.
Well, we want it open. We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international. It's an international waterway.
And they keep their highly enriched uranium.
No, we get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it.
Pakistani mediators spent the week efforting another diplomatic push that so far has not produced any results. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said any tolling system in the strait would be a death knell for a diplomatic solution and indicated the president has several military options at his disposal. Tensions now at a head 6 weeks into the ceasefire. And
yeah, we want them used. We want those military options to be used. Thank you very much.
Disrupting the president's invitation to attend his son Don Jr.'s wedding this weekend in the Bahamas.
He'd like me to go, but it's going to be just a small little private affair, and I'm going to try and make it. I'm in the midst. I said, you know, this is not good timing for me. I have a thing called Iran and other things. That's one I can't win on. If I do attend, I get killed. If I don't attend, I get killed by the fake news.
The IRGC has reportedly also warned renewed attacks would trigger retaliation beyond its region. Bill.
All right, Jackie. Thanks, Jackie. Heinrich, North Lawn there. Dana's got one out.
So Dan Hoffman is a former CIA station chief and a Fox News contributor.
Wait, before we go to this, we'll see into Iran, because there was actually, this is important. Glad I saw this on my list here. So guys, there was a escalation in Iran. So let's read this. An eyewitness said security forces used stun guns against protesting students in southwestern city of Shahrkhord over in-person exams, according to a video sent to Iran International. The witness said agents attacked a teenage protester. So let me tell you guys what happened. There's like no internet, and they have in Iran, they also don't have in-person classes anymore. So the students haven't been learning anything, but then all of a sudden they said like, okay, there's going to be in-person exams, and the students protested. They're like, how could we pass these exams when we haven't been learning anything? Your online stuff sucks, and we haven't been to school. So they did a protest against the school. And then the students were shot with stun guns. So let's look at this. So it's saying حمله با شوکر به جوونا. So stun gun. Let's just play it all the way through. حمله با شوکر به نوجوان، حمله به شوکر به نوجوان با ترس. کوش. حمله به شوکر به نوجوان معترض. So I'm saying stun gun attack. This just happened, by the way, guys. This was from last night. Stun gun attack on teenage protesters. On teenage protesters. They say they killed them. Stun attack on teenage protesters. So I don't know if when he says because sometimes when we say koshed, it's basically, I don't know if he
means it literally or figuratively. Yeah,
figuratively. Yeah, because in Persian sometimes we say it figuratively, so I don't know which one is this here. Yeah. Okay, and guys, in 9 minutes, we got a lot of super chats, so we're going to read them in 9 minutes. Let me just see. This guy has good analysis. For 9 minutes, we'll get to the super chats.
Jillian Turner said she's going to try to ask Marco Rubio about apparently the Iranians say, okay, now negotiations are going to heat up. And I feel like if we look back to every Friday for the last several weeks, that's what we report.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Iranians certainly have used this ceasefire, which has gone on for weeks now, to rearm and to reconstitute. And meanwhile, they've shut down the Strait of Hormuz, disrupting the global economy. That also gives them more leverage. Had we opened the Strait of Hormuz and then begun negotiating, we would have been the ones with greater leverage. We don't just want the strait opened, as Secretary Rubio has emphasized. We want to deal with Iran's nuclear program, as well as that highly enriched uranium we want out of Iran.
One of the things that Marco Rubio just said, and we're going to go to him if he starts speaking live as well, is that the Strait of Hormuz must be open. It should not be allowed to become like a toll situation. He said if that becomes allowed there, you'll have at least 5 other places where that could happen around the world. And I haven't really heard them talk about that enough yet. I thought that was very smart and very important for us to think about. Let me get your thoughts on it.
Also, if the also, if the Islamic Republic manages to put a toll on the Strait of Hormuz, and then there's nothing done about it, then I mean, President Trump is not going to allow that to happen, because if he does allow that to happen, everybody would see that as an obvious loss of United States and a win for the regime. So there will be nothing more obvious as a sign that the regime has won and the Americans have lost. So that's why I don't think that President Trump will at all tolerate that. So I don't think they're going to allow that to happen.
No, that's absolutely critical. The last thing we want is for Iran to be able to extort the region and the rest of the world by controlling the Strait of Hormuz, international transit there, with a chokehold on the global economy, and taking in money that they can use to fund their weapons programs as well as their proxy terrorists in the region. We are clearly right now at an inflection point. We may proceed with negotiations, but Iran has not negotiated in good faith to this point. Remember, that's why we deployed our military assets to the region in February, and it's why we launched those kinetic strikes on Iran starting on February 28th.
There was confusion or controversy yesterday. It's unclear because the Iranians obviously don't have a clear chain of command that is communicating. But the Institute for the Study of War said this about the uranium issue, that Iranian officials appear divided over potential nuclear concessions, especially whether Iran should send its highly enriched uranium stockpile abroad.
I mean, the division is, guys, we have been, Goldie and I have been talking about that this would happen before it happened, right? And this is killing them from the inside. This is killing them. This is one element from the ceasefire that has been damaging to the regime internally. And you can see why this divides them, because the ones who want to give the enriched uranium up think that they cannot continue tolerating the blockade and the upcoming military operations. But the ones who don't want to give it up, because if they do give it up, it would be undeniable to pro-regime people that the Islamic Republic has lost, and the Islamic Republic will not be able to tolerate that. Like, this is exactly what being stuck between a rock and a hard place looks like, right? If you give up the enriched uranium, then the pro-regime Iranians there will be no more denying it that we lost, that the regime has lost, and the regime would not be able to survive, losing its supporters. And if they do give it up, that will happen. If they don't give it up, they wouldn't be able to continue surviving the blockade. So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of situation.
Do you think it actually sits in the negotiations?
I think it's pretty murky and opaque publicly, but this is where the intelligence community is so important. And I can tell you from my experience that I expect President Trump and Secretary Rubio and the rest of the president's national security team to be relying on Director CIA Ratcliffe for those CIA sources inside Iran who can tell us what exactly Iran's plans and intentions are regarding the highly enriched uranium, and then how things are playing out inside Iran. We believe the IRGC is pretty firmly in control with General Vahidi in charge, but there may be fissures within the security apparatus in Iran.
Again, guys, on Iran Revolution Live, we knew Vahidi would be in charge before people figured out that he's in charge.
Before they even knew his name.
Before, exactly. Exactly. This is why you come here, guys.
And that's all for the CIA to hash out and deliver the analysis to the president so he can make the best decisions.
Let me also get your quick thoughts on this, because yesterday, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that there are Hezbollah officials who will be sanctioned in addition as well. He said that Hezbollah is a terrorist organization and must be fully disarmed. Treasury will continue to take action against officials who have infiltrated the Lebanese government and are enabling Hezbollah to wage a senseless campaign of violence against the Lebanese people and obstruct lasting peace. From your intelligence point of view, what do you think he's learned there?
Yeah, clearly we've learned something about which Lebanese officials are supporting Hezbollah. There were a couple of them, one in the Lebanese armed forces, the other an intelligence officer who were sanctioned. This is a good, solid policy where we're taking the fight to Iran's proxy terrorist Hezbollah. Remember, Israel took the fight to them literally with that pager operation. We're also dealing with them diplomatically. We've got a ceasefire in place between Israel and Lebanon. We're trying to build out the capacity of Lebanon.
All right, let's go because we want to focus on Iran. I just want to show one more thing before we go to the super chats. I think this is important because, guys, we need to make sure because Goldie always, Goldie and I always want to make sure that we're not just talking about what Americans and Israelis are doing. We should always keep an eye on the Iranian people's situation. So look at this. Long lines of gasoline formed near village of Salah in Qesh. Oh, this is Qesh Island. Qesh Island, guys, is the biggest island in the Persian Gulf, as you guys know. And in the port city of Kong in Iran's Hormuzgan province, according to videos sent to Iran International. So the reason why this is important, guys, is I'll show the video to you, but here's what you have to understand. Even though the uprisings are not about reforming the economic situation in Iran, they're about toppling the regime. That is true. However, most of the uprisings, usually the spark of it is because of economic distress. And that's why a lot of the uprisings have been over currency prices, have been sparked by currency, the drop in currency value, like in real's value. The Mahsa uprising was over Mahsa being killed by the regime, but many of them have been over fuel prices. And now we're seeing the fuel prices are getting to levels way higher than what the Iranian people did an uprising for before. And that's why everybody expects the current economic condition to spark the next uprising. So let's look at these long fuel queues seen in southern Iran. Look at this. That's a gas station. Yeah, so this might not seem like a lot of people don't pay attention to this, but these are usually big indicators of what might happen. Like if you look at the previous trends on when we had an uprising, this is a big deal. This becomes very important to consider. Okay, so it's super chat time.
Before we go, Armin, I just want to share a
Yes.
couple of quick updates from King Reza Pahlavi.
Okay.
So he is having a very busy day today. He's been in Washington, D.C., meeting with American lawmakers. So Rep. Derek Van Orden, Navy SEAL veteran, and so he's a Navy SEAL veteran serving WIO3. He met with the Crown Prince today, and he writes, I met with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi and leaders in the Iranian opposition movement to discuss the Iranian people's fight for freedom. They are helping end the war with the radical Muslim mullahs waged against America and free the world 47 years ago. We must stand with those seeking liberty and peace. So here he is. They're meeting. And that's, of course, Kamran Khansarania. That's the Crown Prince's right-hand top political advisor. And there you go. So that's one meeting that he had. And then another meeting that he had as well was with Congressman Dan Muser. And he's serving the hardworking taxpayers of Pennsylvania's 9th Congressional District. So he also met with the Crown Prince of Iran today. And he posted, I had a great conversation with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi of Iran as he continues his relentless advocacy for the Iranian people and his continued resistance against the current regime. The people of Iran have suffered the tyranny of the Islamic fundamentalist regime for nearly 50 years. Thank you, Prince Pahlavi Reza, for standing with your people. So seems like there is a lot of activity in Washington, D.C. right now. The Crown Prince of Iran and his team are there meeting with various American lawmakers.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's go to the super chats. I'm going to start with my Rumble rant. So for America, let me just bring it up really quick. So before I forget, for America's Flag Original sent a Rumble rant, and he says, he or she, I'm not going to assume gender. Sorry, guys. Trust Trump, Javid Shah. Thank you so much. And yeah, I do believe that President Trump has a plan. And now it's getting trippy with the whole screen thing, so I'll remove the screen. But thank you. And guys, thank you everyone in Rumble for making me aware that we have a Rumble rant. Really appreciate it, because for some reason the studio does not show Rumble rants in the chat live stream.
Yeah. Yeah, we should just bring it here, but yeah.
Oh wow!
But yeah, thank you
I
guys.
also have someone. So apparently, Data 12 gave numerous free 1-month channel subscriptions. Wow! Thank you so much, Data 12. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, and thank you to the people who reported so that we could
Yes
give them a shout out. Okay, Lior just became a member. Thank you so much, Lior, for being a member. Thank you. And then we have Fabrizio also became a member. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Welcome to being a member, I guess, to our community. And then we have push-ups. Again, I'm suspicious with that number. You say push-ups 23, 45. I don't think you do that many push-ups, but it's okay. We'll allow it. So after transition to democracy, has the prince decided on who he will back for the presidency? So I suspect first of all, we won't have a president, because I suspect that we're going to, based on what I'm seeing in Iran, the Iranian people are going to have a referendum to choose between Iran being a constitutional monarchy or a republic without a monarch. And this is just my guess, is that the Iranian people are going to vote for a constitutional monarchy. And because I think the constitutional monarchy will win, that means we're going to have a prime minister and not a president, right? And the prime minister, yes, that's probably what's going to happen, right? We're going to have a king and a prime minister, and our king is going to be Prince Reza Pahlavi, by then King Reza Pahlavi. And I don't think that, my guess also is going to be, no, he hasn't, first of all, decided. And my guess is that he's not going to endorse anybody, because he prefers to be bipartisan, right? Like he prefers to be Mawarai Hezbi, which means that he doesn't want to interfere in influencing the Iranian people's decision on which parties they vote for. So far, that has been his policy.
And that's very, very important, right? So, for example, when you look at Canada or the United Kingdom, countries that are constitutional monarchies, we have a king, that's King Charles, but King Charles does not get involved in politics, does not get involved in elections, because the monarchy, the institution of monarchy, is above politics. It's above all of that stuff. And the monarch is basically there to kind of work with whoever. So after the transition to democracy, no, His Royal Highness will not speak out publicly on who he's backing, because that would be inappropriate. And he's basically just going to be there to just kind of I mean, again, like it's way we're talking like way far down the road, because that will all the role will depend on the Constitution and stuff. But no, he's not going to openly back anyone for presidency. However, having said that, during the transitional phase, right? So the phase that is, between the fall of the Islamic regime and then the establishment of the new secular democratic government based on the constitution. There is the transitional phase. And during the transitional phase, the crown prince, or as I call him, the king, King Reza Pahlavi, he will be determining and selecting people to be a part of the transitional government. So during the transitional phase, yes, he will be handpicking people. Our understanding is that it's going to be a group of people from both inside of occupied Iran and outside of occupied Iran who will be working together as a transitional government for the sole purpose of kind of maintaining the country, keeping the country going from a bureaucratic perspective, but also focused on drafting and writing the constitution for the Iranian people to then vote upon. And he
Right.
will be selecting that because that is transitional in nature. And then essentially, once the transitional government has achieved its goal, which is to conduct the referendum to determine whether the country is going to be whether the country is going to be a republic or a constitutional monarchy. And then after that, they're going to be working on drafting the constitution. And then the constitution, I believe, will also be voted upon by the Iranian people. Once that is done, at that point, the transitional government will dissolve, and then we will have elections, free and fair elections, because at that point we will have established and created the democratic framework for which to operate out of.
Right. Exactly. And Goldie, I think what people need to understand is that the transitional government itself cannot be democratic, because the point of the transitional government is to create the foundations for where we could bring democracy. So you cannot have democracy, full democracy, for a government that is trying to lay the groundwork for the Iranian people to be able. So you need to create security. You need to create the environment where people could create their parties, and then we will have elections. So a lot of people are like, well, who elected you to be the leader of the transitional government? Like, okay, guys, for elections, we need a transitional government to create the environment where we could have elections. No transitional government is democratic, and that's why it's transitional. That's the whole point of it being transitional. But the transitional government will lay the groundwork for us to have a full democratic government post the transition. And for that to be fully democratic, we were going to have a minimum of 4 elections. Okay, the first election is for monarchy versus republic. Second election will be to choose the people, our founding fathers and mothers, are the people who are going to be writing the constitution. Right?
No, I thought that's the transitional government that is going to be chosen by King Reza Pahlavi.
No, there will be election for that, for the people who write the constitution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then there's going to be a third election. So they will write the constitution. And then the third election would be for Iranian people to vote yes or no to the written constitution by the founding members of the Majlis Mehegan, or Mahegan, right? There's 2 pronunciations for that. And they would write it, and then the Iranian people would, the third election, they will say yes to the constitution or no to the constitution. And if they say yes to if they say no, it has to go back and they have to redo it, right? If they say yes, then we have the 4th election, which is for voting for the members of parliament. And then obviously the party, the head of the party with the highest number of seats will become the prime minister. And I mean, if we go with the monarchist route, if the people at the first, if we chose for republic, which I don't think will happen, they will vote directly for the president. But if they vote for a monarchy, then the prime minister will become the head of the party with the highest seats, right?
And guys, you can find all of this info online. Just search for Iran Prosperity Project. The PDF is right there. It's like 170, 100, almost a 200-page document which outlines everything with respect to the transition phase. And we will be going over this at some point in the future. We're just not there yet. But for anyone who's interested in advance, this is exactly like the Iran Prosperity Project lays out exactly what Armin has and I have been speaking about here. So you can take a look at that, if you guys want, if you're political nerds. And what's really great about the Iran Prosperity Project is that this is the final draft. So there was the initial draft was put out online last summer, and Iranians from inside of occupied Iran and all around the world had an opportunity to read it and comment on it and provide their input and insight. And then based on all of the feedback received, the King's transitional team went back and then they produced the final draft of the Iran Prosperity Project, which was based on the feedback received from the Iranian people. So this really, the Iran Prosperity Project, it really represents all of us, and this is something that the King and his team have been working on for a long time. You're on mute.
Okay, so and one last point, guys. One pro tip: when you download the PDF, one thing you could do if you have specific questions and you don't want to go read all of it, just upload it on Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever AI you prefer, and then you could ask your questions. It could be like, what does it say about this? What does it say about Israel? What does it say about education? That's what you could do. So you could talk to the document and ask specific questions like that. Okay. Push-ups, great question. Look, you asked such a good question that we had to spend so much time answering it. And thank you for the super chat. Let me remove the stars here. And then we have Pendragon saying, thank you for this generous super chat, saying, please interview Raymond Ibrahim Javid Shah. Okay, thank you for the recommendation.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually played a lot of Raymond Ibrahim's videos in the past, and I've spoken a lot about him. He's great, great guy. Trying to raise awareness, not a bad idea at all. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion. I'll definitely look into that. But if anyone's interested, just go back and look at my previous live streams on my Goldie Show playlist, and before the Iranian Revolution started, Raymond Ibrahim was one of the people that I spoke about quite a bit. And, I would share his videos and I would provide commentary on the things that he was saying. So, yeah, the fantastic suggestion. Thank you. We'll definitely look into that.
Thank you. And then Casey, thank you for the super chat saying, why did Trump send 2 nuclear subs to Gibraltar? The fact that we know that, to me, suggests that it's an intimidation tactic for the regime, because these nuclear subs are really impossible to detect. So if you know where they are, is because they want you to know where they are. And if they want you to know where they are, to me, I think it's an intimidation tactic for the regime to basically surrender. That's what I think. And we have Kevin just gave a membership gift to somebody in Goldie's live chat. So now somebody is a... Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for the membership gift. And then we have... Let me remove the star here. DM, I'm going to call you DM, saying, love you guys. Keep up the good fight. Free run. Well, thank you so much. We will keep up the fight. Monix, I'm going to call you Monix. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, guys, if I mispronounced them. And thank you for the support. William saying, at the top world energy, as the top world energy supplier, don't higher oil prices actually help the U.S. economy? Not really. The reason why the U.S. economy is doing so good is because of tech stuff. Because even though United States is a top oil supplier, there are more businesses in the United States that consume energy than produce energy. So it's good for one industry within the US and bad for every single other industry. For the oil industry in the US, it's a revenue. For every single other industry in the US, it's a cost. So yes, that one industry in the US benefits a lot, but especially tech. Given tech, for example, energy prices going up is really bad for like AI because it needs like a lot of energy. So it's supposed to be, it's on average, is a net negative, but the U.S. economy is doing well regardless because it's just and for other reasons, right? But it's a good question. A lot of people ask that. And okay, Hezi saying apparently TLV is flex. You flatten it. Oh, Tel Aviv is flexible. You guys don't use abbreviations. Sometimes I don't get them, but I got this one. You flatten it and it keeps bouncing back. You have a bouncing city there. Like bang, bang. Well, that's a good feature. I wish other cities were as bouncy as Tel Aviv. Okay, thank you, Hezi. That was a good one. Angie Mordechai saying, totally agree, Armin. To move it forward needs a plan to arm the Iranian people. Yep. It may be the last Israeli friend it may be the last Israeli friends can help with. Yeah, I think like arming the Iranian people requires Americans, Israelis, and Ukrainians, especially when it comes to drone. And guys, I'm not making this stuff up because Ukrainians were very essential when it comes to arming the opposition against Assad. They were with drone technology, they were very successful with that. So we could just repeat that same whatever happened in Syria, we could just replicate that. And thank you, Angie. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support. Robert saying, I am your yes. We will never, Robert, we will never ever forget this. Okay. I am your first honorary Iranian. You're both gifts from God. Javid Shah. Well, thank you. Yes. Robert, guys, never forget. Robert Rogers was the first honorary Iranian on Iran Revolution Live. And then we have Uncle Diaz saying, I can smell that guy through the screen. Ew, the mullah guy. Yes, I can tell. The whole that whole area that he is, because it's in a mosque, smells like, I don't know, unwashed feet. And then we have another super chat by Jirjirak. Oh wow, Jirjirak Farsi Yad Migire. Jirjirak Farsi Yad Migire. That sounds like a channel. Okay, this is from Israel, but that's in Persian. That looks like a channel that is teaching people Persian in Israel. And the comment is also in Persian saying, Payande Iran, Javid Shah, long live Iran, long live the king. Thank you so much for the super chat. Ida saying, Shabbat Shalom, Armin, Goldie, and to the lovely people in the chat. And yes, Armin, you did very well saying, oh, I did? Slava Ukrainia, the last stream. Guys, I figured out how to get it right. I was told that you just have to make it rhyme with Urumia, okay? And I know Urumia, so now I will never forget. Slava Ukrainia rhymes with Urumia. Thank you, Ida, for the super chat. Amir with the membership gift for Goldie, for somebody in Goldie's chat just got a membership gift. Thank you, Amir. Thank you for being so kind and generous. And then we have Finding Good gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. On Liberty Politics, guys, 5 people on Liberty Politics are now members of the channel. Thank you so much because of Finding Good. And then we got another super chat here by LA Captain saying multinational efforts should just open the strait and let the oil flow. If they try and stop it, defend and stop ability to interfere. Yeah, that would be the ideal situation. The problem is that nobody other than the United States and Israel, and maybe at some point the UAE, are contributing. Everybody is like just sitting back, like open it, like, well, get in. So how do we make it international, multinational, if nobody else is getting in? But yeah, that would be ideal. I completely agree. That would be the most ideal outcome. Andy is saying, Oh, by the way, if anybody says like, well, the U.S. started it, so the U.S. should pay the cost for, opening the Strait of Hormuz. No, the U.S. did not start it. The Islamic Republic started this by waging war against the United States, Israel, and the whole world 47 years ago. So the United States did not start this. The United States is trying to end this. And it's saying the October 7th Nova exhibition has arrived in London. Oh, wow. A harrowing but essential experience. Did you catch it when it was in Toronto?
Yeah.
No.
I did. I also went. I've also visited the actual Nova Festival site itself on the 1 year anniversary of the October 7 genocidal massacre. Myself and a delegation of Iranians were invited to go visit Israel. So I was actually on the on location at the Nova Festival on the 1 year anniversary of October 7. We also visited a few of the oh my gosh, what are they called now? It's like the communities. Oh my gosh, what's the word for the communities? It's like
communes? Communes?
It's not really a commune, but oh my gosh, I think it starts with a B. The kibbutz, that's what it is. The kibbutz, yeah. So I also visited a couple of the kibbutzim. I actually visited the Bibas home on the 1 year anniversary of October 7. We went to Stero. So yeah, it was a very moving and overwhelming experience. And yeah, so I was there for the 1 year anniversary on October 7.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
Goldie, thank you so much for representing us Iranians and showing your respect there. Thank you so much for going. That's
Of course,
yeah.
it was an honor to be invited to go and be
Yeah.
there. So
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And then we have another super chat from Dominic Spencer saying, I follow you both every day because you are 100% accurate. Oh, thank you. And first to know what is happening. You two are my heroes. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. Bless you both. And thank you for staying the course. And my Bobcat agrees. Well, I know about your Bobcat. I know you also had a debate with your Bobcat and you turned him on our side, so I appreciate that. And yeah, so thanks to you and your Bobcat. Okay, make sure he's subscribed though to our channel, both channels. All right, so we got another membership in server. Became a member or gifted a membership to somebody on Liberty Politics. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And then we have Ginga saying, Ahura Mazda, bless you, Armin and Goldie. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Oh my God. Ida is saying, I believe nothing no more, especially not the super chat counter. Yes, the super chat counter is broken. Don't trust it. It's fake news. The super chat counter is fake news. And thank you, Ida. Thank you for thank you for the super chat. Agent Anderson is saying, I know you've been patient for 47 years, but the US electorate, unfortunately, is not that patient. Do you want to, what is that? On timeline, or you'd rather?
Do you want to opine on timeline, or you'd rather not? So basically, give your thoughts.
Oh, okay. Opinion is like give your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, on timeline, or you rather not? I rather not. I think that the way I look at it is that the Islamic regime is a poisonous tree that we are basically trying to bring down, right? This is the way I look at it every time, right? And what we're doing is we all have access in our hands, and we're swinging at this tree from multiple directions, right? And everybody is asking us, when does the tree come down? And my response is always that I don't know. What I do know is that this tree will not be able to survive if we don't give up. I know that if we all keep swinging at this tree will calm down. The only thing you have to make sure you don't do is give up. If you don't give up, the tree will come down. I don't know which swing is going to bring this tree down, but it will not be able to survive it. I don't know, Goldie, do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, it's very difficult to predict the fall of any totalitarian dictatorship. Dictatorships often appear most stable right before they collapse. I mean, I have a feeling that the Islamic regime, their days are numbered for sure. Like the Islamic regime is in a state of collapse. It's like a slowly sinking ship. When it's going to collapse completely, I don't know. Is it going to happen? I 100% believe that yes, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Exactly. Perfectly said. And then thank you for that question. It's an important question. Angie Mordechai saying Israelis say never again, fighting on all fronts against proxies, sending missiles over for years, and Israelis will not give up. I know the Israelis will not give up. You guys are so amazing, and we are fighting the same fight, and Israelis have been fighting this fight for even longer than we have, for thousands of years. So they're very resilient people, and they have overcome all their enemies. And honestly, the Islamic Republic is nothing compared to the enemies that the Israelis had to deal with before and overcome. So they didn't give up fighting bigger enemies on the Islamic Republic, and they're not going to give up fighting on this one either. Completely agree with that. Yeah. And then Kevin with a super chat say, does the king have support of Donald Trump? I'm going to let Goldie respond to that.
So President Donald Trump is not going to come out and openly endorse anyone because that would be detrimental to the Iranian people's fight for self-determination. As we've already seen, the lefties and the communists and the Democrats, they're all anti-Pahlavi. So the most damaging thing President Trump could do right now is to come out and openly support His Royal Highness. His Royal Highness has also made it very clear that he's not looking for endorsement from other leaders, right? Because his legitimacy as the transitional leader comes from the fact that we Iranians want him to be our leader. Comes from, the over 40,000 innocent unarmed Iranians who lost their lives on January 8 and 9. His legitimacy comes from the millions and millions of people who went out into the streets on January 8 and 9 calling for the overthrow of the Islamic regime and, chanting his name and saying, Javid Shah, this is the final battle, Pahlavi will return. So the Iranian people, we have already made that determination as to who is our leader, and it's His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi. There is no one else. And His Royal Highness has been very clear in saying that he's not looking for outside endorsement of his leadership. His message has always been stand with the Iranian people and respect the right of the Iranian people to self-determination. Respect the right of the Iranian people to choose whoever they want to lead them. And that choice is, of course, Reza Pahlavi. And Senator Lindsey Graham actually said it best. It was in Munich. Let me pull up the video because he gave a very, very good answer. Munich. That was when Amonpour. Remember, when Christian Amonpour?
Yes.
So Lindsey Graham. what's her, how do you spell her last name? Is it O-U-R? Okay, let me see if I can find this here. Because I know this was from a while ago, but here you go. I wonder if this is going to play the full clip, though. Where are they going to play? Yeah, no. See, like all the lefties, they here you go. So all the lefties clipped out the important part of what he's saying. But guys, so listen to this.
And I know Reza Pahlavi is sitting in the audience, but I'm going to ask you, do you put your support behind Reza Pahlavi? Are you ready to say he is the person that the United States is, or you yourself, I don't know whether you speak on behalf of the United States, but as a senior Senate Republican?
No, because that's not my job. I've been with him on every cable TV show known to man. I'm very impressed with the way he can articulate what's at stake. I'm sure he'll have a prominent role in Iran. Don't make it too hard.
So what happened with this clip is that every single leftist, anti-Pahlavi, Democrat, whatever, they only put out the first part of this clip, right? So look at this. Let's play this again.
I know.
So Christian Amanpour, she is basically trying to trap Senator Lindsey Graham with this question because it's one of those questions where, you know, if Senator Lindsey Graham comes out and says, yes, I support him, or America supports him, then that gives Christian Amanpour and all the lefties and the Islamists and the jihadis and the woke and all the anti-Pahlavi people, it gives them the ammunition they need to call King Reza Pahlavi like an American puppet or, you know, whatever, right? That's what she was trying to get at here. But and this is just look at her reaction. This is the
she gets so happy.
Yeah.
When she says no, she's she gets so excited before hearing the rest of it. She's so happy. Got that
Chak to Sadish. When Senator Lindsey Graham says no, she immediately turns to Reza Pahlavi and she's like, see, you have no support. You have no support. Let's watch this again, guys.
Reza Pahlavi is sitting in the audience, but I'm going to ask you, do you put your support behind Reza Pahlavi? Are you ready to say he is the person?
Right? So look at the question. So she's asking Senator Lindsey Graham, are you ready to say he is the person? Right? Senator Lindsey Graham, you know, and we love Amu Lindsey, but Senator Lindsey Graham is not the one to make that determination, right? Yeah. President Trump is not the one to make that determination. No American, no, Canadian, no European, no one, right? The only people who can determine who leads them is the Iranian people themselves. And Senator Lindsey Graham not only understands that, but he respects that. He is respecting the right of the Iranian people to self-determination, right? And this is very important.
And Reza Pahlavi, are you ready to say he is the person that the United States is, or you yourself, I don't know whether you speak on behalf of the United States, but as a senior Senate Republican?
No.
Look at her. She's like, see, look at her.
She's smiling. She's smug smile. Oh my God. Unbelievable.
But then, you know what's really hilarious is, so here's the thing. Most of Islamic regime state media and all the leftists and woke and whatever, they literally cut off the clip at this part and they didn't play the rest of it. But watch her reaction now when Senator Lindsey Graham continues and gives his explanation as to why he says he's not prepared to say that.
Because that's not my job.
See, did you see her face?
Yeah.
No. Because that's not my job.
She's like, oh, right?
I've been with him on every...
So, it's not his job, and he's absolutely correct, right? It's not Senator Lindsey Graham's job. In the same way that, it's not President Trump's responsibility to appoint a leader, right? Guys, remember, Jimmy Carter actually did that in 1979. Jimmy Carter decided unilaterally that a brutal Muslim pedophile is a better choice of leader for the Iranian people than the Shah of Iran. So President Trump is not Jimmy Carter. But what I can say is that the fact that President Trump is so comfortable with the idea of regime change, right? So going back to this article here, let me just change the view for a moment. So going back to this article that President Trump posted on his Truth Social, right? The New York Post article, which is Here's How to Crush Tehran in 3 Moves. So remember, where is it? The article says there is zero doubt that the trajectory for the regime in Tehran is state collapse. So I believe the reason that President Trump is comfortable with the idea of the Islamic regime collapsing is because both the United States and Israel already know who the leader is, and they are comfortable, and in fact, most likely are supportive of His Royal Highness, the King of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, stepping in as transitional leader. And again, look at the people that the Crown Prince is meeting with in Washington, D.C., right? Like he's meeting with I believe they're Republicans as well, right? So the Crown Prince right now, the King, he is in Washington D.C. and he's meeting with people, right? So again, President Trump is not going to openly come out and endorse anyone, but long answer short, I believe that President Trump, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and King Reza Pahlavi's teams are working together behind the scenes. That's just my political analysis and theory on that.
Yes, and we have seen evidence of the coordination between them, for sure. And thank you, Goldie. That was a very detailed response. Thank you. And Goldie comes with the receipts. Okay.
Always.
Yes. And Kevin, thank you so much for the question and the super chat. Donnie Girl gave 5 membership gifts to people on Goldie's live chat. So 5 people are now members because of Donnie. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you for supporting us. And then we have For America's Flag Original saying thank you, Armin and Ali Javicha. Thank you so much for the super chat. Casey is saying he is trying to end Cuba and Iran regime at once. Yes, Cuba might get free as well. Like, guys, we are on the side of the people in Cuba. Hopefully they will also be able to get freed from their communist regime soon. Yesterday I figured out, I looked into some data, and apparently the Cubans hate communism, that's what having a communist government does to you. It's interesting because whenever you have an Islamic government, it ends up making people hate that, and also whenever you have a communist government, it ends up making people hate communism. I wonder why it does that. But yeah, hopefully Cuba will be free soon as well. Imagine that, guys. Imagine Cuba being free, Venezuela being free, Iran being free. Hopefully one day Russian people and Chinese people will also experience freedom. North Korean people will experience freedom. Wouldn't that be a beautiful world? And then William, thank you so much. Gifted 1 membership to somebody in our live chat. Somebody is now a member. Thanks to William. Thank you. And Jeremy also gifted 1 membership to someone on Goldie's chat. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. Wow, we're getting so many memberships gifts. Koala Katie gifted 1 membership to somebody on Liberty Politics. Thank you, Koala Katie. Cool name, by the way. Love your name. Love your username. Ida saying thank you so much, Goldie, for visiting that place. Yes, it's about 30 to 40 minutes drive from my home, and I cannot bring myself to go there. Oh, not yet anyways, unfortunately. Oh no, that's so sad.
It was
Well,
very difficult. It was very difficult.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ida. Thank you for supporting us. And yes, Goldie, thank you so much for going there. It really does mean a lot. Not just for Israelis, and also for us Iranians to know that we had Iranians to go there to show their respect. It also means a lot to us Iranians. Daniel saying, where's Cardboard Mushtaba? His absence is crazy. I know, right? I don't know where he is. He's probably in the hospital or something. Yeah, but it is crazy. You're right. And thank you for the super chat. And then we have Chase is saying, Durud from Minsk. Thank you,
that's
Goldie and
Belarus.
Armin. Yeah.
Wow, welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome, Durud.
Thank you. Yeah, Durud. I like, thank you, GNA. I like that, Goldie and Armin, for all you do. Well, you're welcome. And thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting us. And then we have Agent Anderson saying self-determination is the ancestral in their ancestral homeland. Yes, exactly. Self-determination. This is what bonds the Iranian people and Israeli people as well, because it's not for us. This goes back thousands of years, right? Like, I mean, self-determination is important everywhere, but for us, self-determination is not something that we're gaining. It's something that we are regaining. Like it goes back to our roots, right? Very good point. And push-ups saying, I had to cut back from 5,000 push-ups, shoulder pain. Okay, now it's more believable. Okay. Okay, I didn't believe the 2,300 number, but now that makes sense in context. If you used to do 5,000, yeah, you must look jacked, by the way. And then we have KP with another super chat saying, Shabbat Shalom to the peeps of the chat, and Armin and Goldie. On another note, Tusi just posted, Tulsi Gabbard is resigning as Director of National Intelligence due to her husband's cancer. Sad for her. Oh my God.
Oh no,
So sorry.
that's so sad.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh my gosh, sending them thoughts and prayers. Wow. That's terrible.
Oh God. I hate cancer.
Oh yeah,
I
look,
really
it just came up on look at this. I just opened up my X and it's here. Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm deeply grateful for the trust President Trump placed in me and for the opportunity to lead the office of the DNI for the last year and a half. Unfortunately, I must submit my resignation effective June 30th, 2026. My husband, Abraham, has recently been diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. He faces major challenges in the coming weeks and months. At this time, I must step away from public service to be by his side and fully support him through this battle. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Oh my gosh. Super sad. Wow. Okay. You're on mute, Armin, I think, if you're speaking.
Yeah, I was just checking something.
Yeah.
Okay. We need, guys, we need to defeat cancer. Like, seriously, it's about time. We need more funding for cancer research, and hopefully with AI, we're going to get to a post-cancer world very soon. I think we're about to get there soon. I think we're about to get there soon, because with the new advance in medicine and AI and other forms of technology, I think very soon, you know how we're basically very close to defeating AIDS, and I think we're going to get to defeating cancer as well. You know, I lost my mom to cancer, so I'm really always looking to the latest advancement in medicine and technology. For getting to a post-cancer. You know, I lost my mom to cancer when she was only like 54 years old only.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That's so tough.
Yeah. Thank you. And when the time between we got the announcement that she had cancer and the time that she died was like 2 months. Like
Oh my
everything is
gosh.
fine. Yeah, like everything, you're a happy family, everything is going well. And then they tell you your mom has cancer, and then 2 months later you don't have a mom. It's like, what the
Oh
hell?
my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's really rough.
Yeah. But hopefully we'll beat cancer soon, once and for all. And thank you, Wyatt, saying Armenia touches Iran. Are they friends of Iran, of the lion? Not really. They actually maintain a very close relationship with the regime. And I would say also Azerbaijan is more, even Azerbaijan is friends with Israel. I mean, Azerbaijan also shows respect to the regime. Like when Khamenei died, they were showing respect to him, even though they're supposed to be the enemies of the regime. But yeah, unfortunately, it's very strange because Armenia is a Christian country and they're friendly with the Islamic Republic. And Azerbaijan, which is a Shia majority country, they are more at war with the Islamic Republic than the Christian country that is Armenia, which is bizarre. I mean, it's not bizarre. We know why, because Azerbaijan has ethnic tensions with the regime, but also Azerbaijan is very close with Israel, and also because the regime has expansionist ideas into Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan sees it as a threat. So, and also because the regime has used the Shia mosques and the Shia events in Azerbaijan as a way to infiltrate into Azerbaijan. So Azerbaijan also sees it as a threat. So I understand why Azerbaijan treats the Islamic Republic as an enemy. But it's kind of an odd situation where you have a Christian country and a Shia country, and the Shia country is an enemy of the Islamic Republic, and the Christian country is more closer to the regime. Odd situation. Unfortunate though, because I like Armenia as a country. Oh, that's my alarm for the discussion group. Okay, guys, I need to go to the discussion group, so let's do the super chats. 2 more super chats. We got Super Baker saying, Goldie, what do you think about President Trump staying in Washington this weekend? He posted he won't attend his son's wedding this weekend and staying at the White House. Thanks for all you do, Goldie. That was good.
So I would say that this maybe has something to do. I mean, I don't know, but maybe this has something to do with the next super chat.
Oh, Nick super chat saying, Goldie. So let me do it properly. Goldie, check Tuesday's post on X. Just posted, breaking, nuclear talks called off. Armin, I'm so sorry that you lost your mom like that. May her memory always be blessing to you. Oh, that's a very beautiful wish. Thank you for that. Thank you.
So give me one moment, because I'm just literally posting this on X right now.
Ooh, breaking news, guys. As you do that, can I tell people about the discussion group while you do that? Okay, guys, I'm gonna be in our discussion group in 10 minutes, and this is what that looks like. Wait, where is it? This is, my God, I can't bring it back on anymore. Oh, there we go. This is what that looks like. So I put the link in the chat. There's a widget. There's a QR code on the top right of the screen. If you scan that, it will bring it to our discussion group. I'm going to go there. We're going to have a group call. If you look at the calendar, you can see all our group calls, but the next group call is going to be in 9 minutes. I'm going to be there. We're going to be talking politics. We're going to be talking Iran. We're going to be talking everything politics related on a global scale. Again, so there's a couple of ways you could get there. Either scan the QR code at the top right, or just click on the link in the chat that I just posted there, or you could go to Liberty Politics YouTube channel, and the link is in the bio. So see you guys there. All right, Goldie, what do you have for us?
So, apparently the nuclear talks have been called off. 2CTV just posted this. The Islamic Republic has decided it will not negotiate over its nuclear program with the United States, which is what I've literally been saying the entire time. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, Baghai, says it is not the right time to discuss the nuclear issue with the enemy. So going back to President Trump's, going back to the other super chat about why, President Trump might be staying in Washington this weekend, I don't know. It could be because we've just now confirmed that the nuclear talks have been called off. And as we know, nuclear is the red line of red line of President Trump.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. It's also the red line of the Islamic Republic, which means that we're going to go to boom booms. And I just want to officially thank the Islamic Republic for being retarded. Thank you so much. So, thank you. This helps us so much. Thank you for this position. I appreciate that.
So, I mean, yeah, like we might actually start seeing the resumption of boom booms much sooner than anticipated, because President Trump was very clear, and he said that if the Islamic regime is unable to reach a deal and they only have 2 or 3 days, then they're going to go to boom booms. And now I feel like the Islamic regime is now trying to call President Trump. Like they basically want to see if President Trump is bluffing or not, right? And President Trump is not someone who bluffs. So the fact that the regime is now canceling nuclear talks,
Also, Goldie, maybe they figured out that the Americans are going to attack anyways, so they're just going to try to act tough they're just acting like, yeah, bring it, because they know it's unavoidable, so then why even bother? Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee. I don't know why President Trump is not going, why President Trump is canceling his trip and staying in Washington, D.C., but I have a feeling that maybe this is part of that equation.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's it. Great news breaking news to end the show with.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. I'm not going to forget this time. I screwed up twice at the ending of the show. This time I'm going to screw it up. Okay, guys.
Well, before you end it, also, guys, keep in mind, we're going to be monitoring the situation. And, if things start up and, if we hear about boom booms or something, we will come back and do the live as well to keep you guys updated on the live play-by-play of everything. So we don't control that schedule because we don't know when the boom booms are going to resume, but we'll try to monitor and try to be here when we can. So
yes, obviously Goldie is joking. She has a direct line to President Trump, and she has some control over this. Sorry. Oh no, I screwed up again. Sorry. All right, guys. So until tomorrow or a few minutes from now, we don't know. We'll see. I'm Israel Chai. Long live America.
God bless America.
Javid Shah.
Payande Iran. See you guys tomorrow.
غرق انقلاب است.
کشور ما، تاریخ ما در سیدگر فرا گرفته، گویی اهورا مستا دوباره در نور خود مرا گرفته. هشتم سرودی سر میدهم باز فارغ از رنج و تشویش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. هن ای پدر، هن ای پسر، برخیز و با ما شو همگام، تا درد آن تجربه تلخ ما را نکشیده در آب. بگذار هر دم بغرند گرگ ها دم لباس میش. ایران
برجر ای برزگر راحت قانون ادامه دارد در این زمان که پرتو یزدان از هر سو بر تو میبارد پس پیش به سوی آزادی از بحر خزر تا کیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش خلقا به پا بهر دفاع از استقلال و آزادی تا بشکنیم پشت ارتجاع تیریزی ایران آبادی تا زنده سازیم سنت‌های می از پروانین و کیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش
با امید روزی که تمام این دلبشو و انقلاب تموم بشه و ما در روشنایی، نور و سعادت مردم کشورمون غرق بشیم.
نه خارجی نه بیگانه نه مستشارهای ویرانی نه چیر خاران نه کاسلیسان فقط هم رزمان ایرانی تا با شرافت میهنی بسازی بهر فرزندان خویش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش مردان بیایید داخل صف ما اکنون که آغاز رویاست دشمنان بدانید ما زنده هستیم بعد از ما هم ایران پابرجاست آن روح شیطان ما را فریب داد با صد شعار مردمیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش پرچم ما پرچم ایران غرق خون شهیدان روی شانه هامان حمل میکنیمش در هر خیابان و میدان تا ماسک دلقکان را برداریم از روی تسبیح و ریش ایران غرق انقلاب